working as an artist and as a professional in Hollywood, you've done like a couple of so-called genre movies like Serenity and Spirit. How has your own perception of the comic book movies and the genre movies changed over time, if it has changed over time?
You know, I think each one of the movies you describe is so different because, you know, so many different directors and different ways of telling a story. But, you know, I've never really been a big watcher of comic book movies. Or, I mean, the comic books I read were like the Archie comics I read a lot as a young person, and I really liked them. And the characters all felt so vivid and quite alive to me. And I understand why people who really read comic books avidly get very upset about the casting of a certain actor or actress in something because it's so not what they had in their mind. And I think, again, that goes back to what I said earlier. I kind of like that because it means people are invested and they care and they want it to be representative of the thing they had in their mind. And at the same time, you have to be open to, you know, this is going to be the director's vision of this particular story, and you have to remember that they're not making a declaration that this is the only person that could play it. It's just this is who they would like to have, you know, and that I think demands a bit of respect. And so I kind of bristle against that when people get angry about somebody being cast that they don't think is right, because who are they to say, you know?
I have no idea about the game changing. I did know that comic book characters were marketable. From, I think my first realization past Superman and all that stuff was I remember reading The Crow as a graphic novel and saying to myself, well, this would be a great movie. And then all of a sudden they're making it, you know, and it is an interestingly successful first attempt at a graphic novel movie. But then there were other ones that didn't work, like Tank Girl, that came out right behind it. So it's like, okay, they're feeling their way around this world, and they tried Silver Surfer, and they tried you know, all these other things. But you know, the Christopher Reeve Superman movies were successful enough for them to continue to try. So that by the time Marvel actually decided they were gonna, you know, do something like that, they made the right choice in, you know, choosing Iron Man, you know, first, because there were a couple of things about it that people could relate to. You know, number one, very rich playboy who can afford to create a, you know, Iron Man suit like this, and he's rich enough to do something like that. And then, you know, the exploitations of the television Batman allowed, you know, the other darker version of Batman to show up in, you know, film versions when Michael Keaton and all those guys were doing them. So it was just a matter of time for them to figure out what the formula was to make, you know, those things palatable to the audiences that were, you know, coming to see them.
Do you think that in the future maybe it's going to be always more complicated for smaller budget movies to find a place in the movie theaters? Because of course Blumhouse is like I think the biggest exception in this trend of only big blockbuster movies in theaters. But what's your opinion about?
Yeah, I don't think it's the budget that actually will make the metric of whether it's difficult to get in the movie theater. I think it's the type of movie that you're making. And I think now there's certain types of movies that are harder to get into the format of seeing it in the movie theater, and drama is one of them. Because in essence, a drama is something you can experience internally, you know, almost in an insular way, and so you could watch it at home in another format. Whereas there are other genres that are drawn to watch together, you know, spectacle or thriller or horror or, you know, laughter. You know, these are all things you want to experience as a group. So it's more the type of movie that you're interested in making. I wish everyone could make whatever they wanted in the movie theater.
Yeah, no, it's fortunate that there is still an opportunity for smaller budgeted films to make it in the cinema. I don't think it's only big budget movies that are making it in the cinema. I do think, you know, if you look at Jason Blum and his model, there is an opportunity to find an audience with a low budget. But there are certain genres that seem to attract an audience. Superheroes are one of them. Scary movies are one of them. Split was very lucky in that it was a bit of both. And therefore budget and advertising campaign budgets were less relevant. But I think you've got to be clever with how you target your audience a little bit and with the material you're choosing. We just know that no matter how good the material is, if it's not in a few different genres, you're just not going to get an audience or get a slot even. And that is sad. But we also know that home streaming and viewing on your TV is way more diverse than it's ever been. It's way more daring than it's ever been. So you do find that audience is still there. They're just choosing to view it in a different way. And they seem to be saving the cinema for experiences that might be better as part of a community. So those scary movies, those comedy movies, and those horror movies, but not even comedy movies as much, but certainly the former two.